Okay, good afternoon. This is John Groening speaking from Gqeberha in South Africa. Welcome to everyone that has joined us. I'm also recording this session because some of the participants have indicated that they can't attend this afternoon. Simphiwe is also with us online. She won't be on video since she's running most of this tournament. She will also be able to answer some questions. I've prepared a few slides, but the main purpose of today was to give you the basic facts, and then you can ask us questions afterwards. So just give me a minute to share my screen. Okay. So the main focus of this activity and the tournament afterwards is obviously the EU Code Week, happening from the 14th to the 27th of October. So we would love you guys to have activities at your school or wherever you are during this week. I believe in Europe itself, there is a way for you to report these activities on a website. We're not actively involved in EU Code Week. We're just using this as a mechanism to interact with schools across Europe. Okay, so during the actual Code Week, but it's probably not too strict whenever you want to, but obviously better if it's during that Code Week, we would want you to play at least the Rangers coding game. And for this, you would need our physical tokens. If you do not physically have these tokens, you need to inform us today. You can put it in the chat or contact simphiwe. We can still do our best to get them to you on time, although the week has already started, but we can still do our best. We are really hoping, and I just got feedback from our software developers, that by tomorrow afternoon or latest Wednesday, our two new coding games, Speed Stars, which is a Grand Prix game, and Code Cup, which is a soccer or football game, will be available. They will be in the form of a progressive web app. I've put together a little manual. As soon as we know that they're active, I will inform all of you. And during this Code Week, you can obviously also play with your kids using these games. And you need this. You need the same tokens, so you don't need a new set of tokens. And they all basically entrench the same coding skill. We would obviously love it if during this 2 weeks you send us some photos and some stories of where your learners or kids are playing. And then tell us whether we are allowed to use it on social media. If you don't want that, you can take photos from the back so that we don't see their faces. But where we get permission from you, we would like to share it with a bigger community. Remember, this activity is focusing on the countries in Europe. And so far, I think there's about 10 to 15 countries that said they are interested. But we also have a community across South Africa, Africa, Indonesia, soon this week, South Korea, North America. So we'd like to share the stories with a bigger community. I just want to check the chat if there's something I need to. Okay, I simply just gave an email address. If there's still someone that does not have game packs, we can do our best to get them to you on time, maybe from Ireland or from South Africa. Okay, then the Eurocode Week Challenge. This is a first for us, and it's obviously going to lead up to the World Cup on the 5th of December. Now, by now, I think you all have the date, which is the 7th of November. For this, and those of you that participated last year will know, you need to interact with the tournament app, and simphiwe is busy. I just want to admit someone. For the tournament app, simphiwe is busy communicating with you about that. I've just noticed with the tournament here in South Africa, there might be confusion. For your learners to get the skills of the coding, the loops and the nested loops and the complex levels, they need to play on the normal Rangers app at this stage. The tournament app is not enough levels to really practice to build up your skills. But it is very important that each team does interact with the tournament app at least once before the actual day. The reason for that is they need to know how to use their PIN or password to activate the levels, how to play on the levels, and they must know that the app actually works on their phone. Unfortunately, the tournament app is in Android. At this stage, we don't have the capacity to do it for iPhone, so the team needs to make sure they have an Android app and that the app works on that, the Android phone, and that they know how to request a PIN, how to use the PIN, etc. If you're unsure about this, please contact simphiwe. Our email address is in the chat group. We found with so many of these tournaments in South Africa this year, the teams try the mechanism a minute before the tournament, and then the phone doesn't work or something doesn't work, and then it's too late. To accommodate the teams in Europe, which is across different time zones, we've provisionally allocated 3 sessions from 12 to 1, from 1 to 2, and from 2 to 3 in the afternoon. That's Greenwich Mean Time plus 2. So that's the South African time zone. So you can work out whether this time zone will work for you. If you need an additional session, please let us know. Let simphiwe know as soon as possible. So the idea is that the teams will be participating in any one of these sessions, whichever works best for them. Obviously, we won't expect teams to give the levels out to other teams who can then beat them. But just to be safe for security reasons, we would prefer if a country, teams from one country, choose one session. I know there's quite a number of teams that showed interest from Ireland and Cyprus especially. So if at all possible, if a country could choose a one-time session, if it's not workable, then we'll just have to trust that you won't exchange the levels between you in a country. So the teams will be playing for an hour, and then that will be done. It won't be like the World Cup, a big one event where everyone comes into Zoom, etc., because that is a lot of logistics. We'll get that right for the 5th of December. And in the World Cup, we'll have a Zoom session that carries on for 2 to 3 hours with teams talking to each other, etc. The Euro challenge for this year will be low-keyed. You'll get your PIN, you'll log in, you'll play the levels, you'll finish, you'll have an hour max, and by the next day, we will announce the winners for the Euro Code Week challenge. We also will, if there are a lot of teams from a country, I think we said that we'll allow the top 6 teams from that country to participate. And I think the only countries that at this stage have the potential to have more than 6 teams is probably Cyprus and Ireland. The other countries will probably have less than that. So whether we have a lot of teams, we would like to limit it to 6. Okay, I think that is more or less my my slides. I've recorded it for people that can't listen now. If there are any specific questions or uncertainties now, you're welcome just to speak up or type it in the chat box. I don't want to keep you busy unnecessarily. So I'm going to give a minute for any feedback. The important thing is to communicate with simphiwe, to make sure she knows that you are participating, to register your teams, to start practicing on the tournament app for the mechanism, and to also practice on Rangers to get to grips with the levels. Hopefully by Wednesday, you'll be able to do Code Cup and the Grand Prix. Okay, everyone is quiet, so I would assume that everyone is more or less clear. Yeah, Stephanie, yeah, if you can, I think you're the only group from Germany playing. If you could inform simphiwe, yes, if every country could inform simphiwe of which slot would work for you. Remember that the times I gave is Greenwich Mean Time plus 2, the South African one. And then there was another chat Okay, do we use Rangers on the cup? So you will be using Rangers to practice now. The tournament app is called Boats. It uses the same tokens, the same logic. So on the day of the tournament, you'll be using the Boats tournament app. Simphiwe, can you just confirm, are you sending out Boats or Juicy Gems?
Hi, everyone. So for instance, I'll start with the first question when somebody was asking about registration. I did send an email to say that I'll be sending out a registration form where you can register your teams on it by Friday. And then we'll send in that email on Friday, there will be a link for you to download the tournament app and an explanation on how the tournament app also works. But the first email that was sent out was just to check if everybody is familiar with Rangers, and if not, please do let us know, because it's easier to first train with Rangers before you hop onto the tournament app.
And Simphiwe, which tournament app are you using? Boats or Juicy Gems?
I think it's Juicy Gems, the
Okay.
one that Rosalind created. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so just to be clear, you practice the levels and the challenges on Rangers, because you won't get levels more difficult than on the Rangers app, which you download from Play Store, iPhone or Google. And then on the day of the tournament, you'll be using Juicy Gems that you download as an APK file. As Simphiwe said, you'll get an email about that on Friday. Okay, so Tavatswa says they're back on the 1st of November. That's no problem. You're just not going to have much time to prepare your teams, but that's up to you. As long as you're ready on the day of the tournament, or let them just play for fun. But don't worry if you can't do anything up to the 1st. Okay. Okay, I trust that we'll have great fun and that there will be more teams than what's with us today. But thank you very much for you guys for tuning in. And remember still, there's Simphiwe's email address if you have any further questions. I'll make this recording available hopefully by tomorrow.